everyone, welcome to Two Car Bros. My name is Ryan and today I'm going to be showing you exactly how to change the engine oil and filter for a 2002 Toyota Tacoma with the inline 4. This is a really simple maintenance item you can totally do at home in your garage with no trouble. So with all that out of the way, let's jump in. So let's go ahead and come underneath the vehicle so you can see where I'm working today. Here is our oil pan drain bolt, and right back there is our oil filter. It might be easier to get it from back here. Just make sure the exhaust is nice and cool before you start working. Touching that would most likely give you a nice burn, and we want to avoid that. So there is your oil filter, just for context so you know where I'm working. What I'm going to do is grab a 14mm socket or wrench, and we're just going to remove that guy. Make sure you're wearing some eye protection, and have your catch pan ready. Typically you just need to break it loose, and then you can remove it with your fingers. There we go. And we're just going to let that drain all out. So now it's come down to a dribble. You could wait until it's completely out, but I think this is fine. We're going to take some carburetor spray or brake clean, just spray it on the bottom of the pan there, grab a terry towel, and I'm just going to wipe that mating surface nice and clean. That way our washer has the best chance of making a good seal for us. And then I already have my drain bolt. I already cleaned that off. It's nice and clean, and I put a new washer on there, and I'm going to do my very best to put that in the description for you, and that's an official Toyota part. Otherwise, you could just use like a copper crush washer. I'm sure would be fine. I also have other washers that are like made of zinc with a rubber insert. I like using those, and those work pretty well too. So the torque spec for this is 27 foot-pounds. Kind of seems like a high number to me, but maybe it's crushing the washer. If you don't have a torque wrench, completely understandable. You don't really need one. One arm tight is fine. Remember, it's just holding oil back. It's not like holding anything to anything else. And there you go. What I like to do too is after you're done tightening, go ahead and just clean up any excess oil drippies. So that way, you don't get fooled into thinking, oh no, this thing's leaking, when in reality it's just leftovers. So now we can remove our oil filter, and there's a couple different ways you can do that. Sometimes they're on loose enough you can just reach up and turn it off. I don't think that's going to be the case with this guy. Otherwise you could use a very large pair of channel locks, which is what I would use if I didn't have this tool, which is the correct oil filter socket. And this will enable me to turn it relatively easily. There's not like a ton of room to work above the frame. So I'm going to use a wrench instead of a ratchet, and hopefully this will give me enough clearance to, usually you just need to break it loose, and then you can take the rest off by hand. There we go. It's probably going to come off by hand now. And then there's really no way to mitigate the mess. It's just going to spill all over the frame and a little bit on the steering rack, and that's okay. You're just going to clean it up later, have your catch pan ready. It's all right. So it's going to start dripping like that. That's perfect. Now we can just wait for that to be done dripping. All right, the worst of it is probably done. I'm going to continue to remove our oil filter. And just when you think it can't have any more threads, it comes off. And we can just remove that guy. So another thing I like to do too is you can see right where it attaches to the engine, that's this surface here, and you can see that the seal that was in the oil filter has been completely removed. What I like to do is grab some brake clean or carburetor spray and just spray that surface and wipe it off. Not only am I triple checking that there's no remnants of that gasket remaining, I am making that surface nice and clean so our new one has the best chance of sealing. Yeah, check that out, looks great. So here is our replacement oil filter. It is made by Toyota, and the link is down below in the description. Now before you leave the store or the return window closes on whatever online e-tailer you use, make sure it has that seal, because sometimes they're missing out of the box and you need to return it. You really need a new seal. So we can go ahead and remove that plastic. Just like that. Now for the oil, we're using this, and I can hear you pounding your keyboard already that it's the wrong oil, but here's the thing, this truck has 250,000 miles, and the guy who owns it builds Ferraris for a living, custom Ferraris, so I'm going to trust his judgment, and this is what he wants. The correct oil is 5W30, and I would use a full synthetic, and I will link that down below in the description for you. So what we're gonna do is I'm gonna fill up our oil filter here. Doesn't need to be super full, just some, because this is a vertical attaching filter. And then we can take some of the oil and put it around this seal. Make sure that's nice and glopped up just like that, and it's ready to go back on the car. So we can take our oil filter and just put that on. Make sure you're not cross-threading your oil filter either. It should go on with ease, just like that. There we go. Now it's gotten snug, so the correct spec is 3/4 additional turn until it's nice and tight like that. Alternatively, you can just do as tight as you can with one hand like that. And then I'm going to wipe that down to make sure we're not getting any false drips. So next thing I'm going to do is clean up this cross member using some brake clean or carburetor spray. Really hose it down. Again, because you don't want that false dripping. And it's just bad to have random oil all over the place. And if it's gotten on the steering rack, go ahead and hit that too. The next thing we can do is remove our oil cap. There we go. And place a funnel. So the oil capacity is 6 quarts. So that makes it nice and easy. Just put 6 in. Be careful when you're adding the oil. Looks like the valve cover has a very small precision for adding oil. So it might take you a little bit longer than you expect. And that was our 6 quarts. We can go ahead and remove our funnel and replace our cap. There we go. So now at this juncture, I'm going to turn the engine on and let it run for about 45 seconds. It's a good idea at this point too to look underneath the vehicle to make sure oil's not just gushing out the bottom of it. Everything looks great. Go ahead and turn the vehicle off and wait about a minute. Then we can check our oil level just to be sure, but the Toyota installer's thing said 6 quarts and they're always spot on. Check it again. I don't know if you can see that or not. A little tough to see, but it is just about a little bit above the cross hatchings. I think that's totally fine. And we'll be good to go. And besides, 250,000-mile truck, it could use the extra oil most likely because it's just going to go through it. So that's how to change your oil on an 02 Toyota Tacoma with inline 4. Again, this is really easy. Don't pay somebody to do this. Do this yourself, save hundreds of dollars, and make sure the job is done correctly. Thank you so much for watching. If you found this video helpful or interesting at all, please consider giving it a like or even subscribing. It really helps my channel out. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you next time.